You are Locked On Braves POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta, your team every day.
And welcome into the Braves POSTCAST. Grant McAuley and Jake Mastroianni with you after another productive day at the ballpark for the Atlanta Braves to pick up a 7-1 victory over the St. Louis Cardinals. That makes it back-to-back wins to open up this 4-game series as the Braves are just picking up right where they left off in the month of June as they roll into the month of July and keep their winning ways going. As always, make sure you subscribe to the all-new Locked On Sports Atlanta here on YouTube. Make sure you enable alerts so you get notified every time we drop a new episode, and make sure that you are subscribed to Locked On Braves wherever you get your podcast, because that's how you get the Braves POSTCAST and so much more all season long and really all the way into the offseason. But we're a long way from there right now. But what we are talking about, Jake, is the fact that the Atlanta Braves continue to do what they've done so well, perhaps better than just about any other club in baseball since June the 1st, and that is win baseball games. 7-1 over the Cardinals. This was a night that Ian Anderson needed to, I think, really reverse what's been a troubling trend for him over the past 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, it was. And again, you mentioned it, a great, Braves keep on winning. It's a new month. They keep on winning. And that is certainly great to see. But yeah, Ian Anderson, this is the start. We talked about it going in on Locked On Braves. This is a crucial outing for him. Really, the next couple of starts, I think, are crucial outings for him, and able to get in there just long enough to get the win. And the Braves offense went to work again. Another big inning, back-to-back games down this Cardinals series where they put up a crooked number early and kind of just cruised to the end.
Yeah, if they want to keep putting up 5 runs in an inning, they can sign me up for a subscription service where it happens every single day. But it's been a big key to the wins that the Braves have picked up in Game 1 and again here in Game 2. And they've done it early on to give the starting pitcher a bit of a cushion, and I think that's always a good thing when you're able to pitch with a lead. Let's jump inside the line score and the box score for this one. Game number 82 for the Braves, the second contest of a 4-game set against the St. Louis Cardinals. Cards dropped to 44-39, just 1 run despite 9 hits. They did commit an error and left 12 men on base, so they had plenty of opportunities, just couldn't get it done. Braves now 48-34, 7 runs, 12 hits, no errors, and 7 men left aboard. Anderson picks up the win. Ian now 7-5. Andre Palante takes a loss and drops to 2-4 on the year. No save in a game that lasted 3 hours and 7 minutes, and a crowd of 35,656 were on hand to see it, and they did get to see that 5-run first-inning rally from the Braves. A home run from Austin Riley, his 21st. A home run from William Contreras, my guy, Wild Bill, number 10 for him. He is the 7th Brave to reach double digits in home runs this season as well. So Atlanta's offense is rolling right along and has picked up significant steam since the 1st of June. But let's get back into Ian Anderson real quick before we go all into the Braves offense and some of the other things that went right on this night. But I felt like, you look at this final line, it's 5 innings, 8 hits, just the 1 run, 1 walk, only 3 strikeouts as well. Kept the ball in the ballpark. He navigated through these 5 innings, I felt like, Jake. It wasn't always the sharpest, but it was enough to obviously get himself through those 5 frames. But I have to wonder, my real takeaway from this and lately has been, where have the strikeouts gone for Ian Anderson?
Yeah, I mean, that is a good question. And who, there's no telling. I think it's just because of the fact that, again, we talked about it. He's becoming a little bit more predictable. Now, there was some good in this start, certainly, obviously better than what we've seen lately, but nothing to make me think that he's all the way back to that guy that we've seen. 99 pitches, 61 strikes, not bad, but 8 3-ball counts in 24 hitters faced. Still, and this has always been Ian Anderson since he came up, just not being efficient with his pitching, always in deep counts. But fortunately, just the 1 walk tonight that you mentioned, and he gave up 8 hits, but all of them were singles, which was very key. And he got helped out by a couple of lineouts. He had 4 lineouts in this game, all hit pretty hard. But on the flip side of that, 5 of the hits he gave up were 82.2 miles per hour or lower. Yep. So, that kind of evened out. He got a lot of weak contact in this outing, which is what you want from a guy who's mainly working a fastball changeup combination. 85.1 average exit velocity against for Ian Anderson. So, like I said, not a great start, but certainly not a bad start. Some good signs in there as well. And I think if I adjust my mindset a little bit and think of it as Ian Anderson is the 5th starter for the Braves. I mean, if you're really talking about where all the pitchers are right now, he is your 5th starter. And if my 5th starter can go out there every 5 days and go 5 or 6 innings of 3 earned or less, I will take that. And I think Ian Anderson is capable of doing that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And really, he just had to show you that he could get through 5. That had been the big question, especially in his start against the Dodgers, in which he just didn't seem like things were going right. Then he got hit really hard against the Phillies last time out. That was when I started to kind of wonder, is Ian Anderson going to be able to reverse some of his misfortune? Because as I was crunching the numbers going back to the third week of May, I mean, an 8-start stretch, and clearly giving up 7 runs in 2 innings is going to inflate this, but his ERA was approaching 7. He had given up nearly 60 base runners in 40 innings and half a dozen home runs. And Ian Anderson's game has really been to keep the ball in the ballpark. So that was a little bit troubling. And the strikeouts just weren't there by and large each and every single night. So there were a few less of those, but I'm glad you pointed out the batted ball luck for Ian was a little bit unfortunate at times. And it kind of made up for it with some of those line drives, finding some Braves fielders. So it's, I guess, an all's well that ends well kind of thing. But I'd like to see him build off of this and continue to replicate it, at least be able to navigate his way through 5 innings and help the Braves every 5th day. Because with the way Spencer Strider has stepped up, I think you're right with this, Jake. You can kind of maybe not panic quite as much about what's going on with Ian Anderson, particularly not just with Strider, but Charlie Morton's throwing great. You've got Kyle Wright, you've got Max Fried. So the Braves have a pretty good thing going in rotation. They just love to get Ian Anderson a little bit back to the norms that we had experienced in his rookie call-up in 2020 and some of the things he's given the Braves last year, and particularly in the postseason as well. We'll talk a little bit more about the Braves offense in a moment, but I want to tell you about Coffee AM because coffee has never tasted so good. And Coffee AM is an Atlanta-based small batch coffee roaster. And after a 2-hour and 37-minute rain delay after Game 1, I needed a lot of coffee to get ready for Game 2 of this series between the Braves and Cardinals. So if you are in search of coffee, you can go to coffeeam.com/lockedon today and take a look at their full menu of coffees, teas. They've got gift sets there. It's coffeeam.com/lockedon. Use the code LOCKEDON at checkout. Get 15% off of your first order. That's coffees and teas and gift sets, all kinds of good stuff over there at coffeeam.com. You can go to and check it out and make sure that you use that code locked on for 15% off. And Coffee AM is the best small batch coffee roaster in America. And we invite you to check it out and find out for yourself. As far as the best offense in the National League, I think the Braves have a pretty good stranglehold on that at the moment because they have been really giving you night in and night out. Just another example of how explosive this offense can be. A 5 spot in the first inning after Ian Anderson had to really labor to put the Cardinals down in the top half. We saw Austin Riley on WWE night, in which they gave away the Austin Riley wrestling buddy. Well, he was out there hitting the Stone Cold Stunner on the Cards early on with his 21st homer of the year, William Contreras, his 10th homer of the year. This offense is getting a lot of contributions, Jake, and it is shown to be one of the most powerful in all of baseball.
Yeah, and doing it in a variety of ways, too. You had the 2 home runs. The Braves also had 3 stolen bases in this game as well. So showing you the power and speed that they have. But Austin Riley in particular, 12 hits in his last 6 games, including 3 home runs and 3 doubles. He is certainly getting it done at the plate. Matt Olson right in front of him as well has been good lately as well. He's 10 hits in his last 8 games with 3 doubles and 2 homers. So good to see those guys getting it going in the middle of the order. And then that Harris, Acuna, Swanson trio right there, 9, 1, and 2 hole. Just keep getting on base, setting those guys up, and it's making this Braves offense go.
Yeah, a couple of steals for Michael Harris. He's now got, I believe, 6 on the year. Ronald Acuna Jr. stole his 17th base in this one. Oh, let me correct myself. All-star Ronald Acuna Jr. stole his 17th base of the year. And it's crazy when you think about the fact that he missed, the first 3 weeks of the season and has had other various ailments that have kept him out of the lineup. I think Ronald's pretty much a slam dunk for 30 steals this year. Let's just see when he decides to go on one of those binges where he hits a whole bunch of home runs, and all of a sudden, Ronald Acuna Jr. is back to being, I think, one of the megastars in all of baseball. It's in there. It's going to happen. It's coming. Just get ready for it. And being awarded an all-star starting spot is a very good feather in the cap for Ronald Acuna Jr. in the meantime. But for the Braves, it has been a little bit of everyone contributing here. Matt Olson, you mentioned, with a couple of hits in this one, driving in 2 more runs, with each of those hits. He did that in Game 1. So all of a sudden, the Matt Olson, can he get hits with runners in scoring position? We're seeing that become less of a question and more production from Matt Olson. 4 hits in the series, all of them driving in runs. That is certainly something good to see. And speaking of hits, Eddie Rosario back in the lineup, 2nd consecutive day, picking up a hit. Yeah, he had done back-to-back hits in games prior to this, and that is kind of a miracle in and of itself, considering the guy had 3 hits in 15 games before undergoing the eye surgery. Great to see Eddie back in there, and, this allows the Braves to have an alternative to having to put Marcell Ozuna in left field rather than at the DH spot.
Yeah, love having Rosario back in there. Again, the left-handed bat I think is key for this lineup as well. And yeah, glad to see him get that hit in the late in the game, because that gave everybody in the lineup a hit on this evening. Just again showing you the depth of this team. Every starter, I should say, Adam Duvall coming in late. But yeah, I love having Eddie Rosario bat, big bat. Matzek pitching this game as well. He's back off the IL, so good to see that. So yeah, Braves starting to get a little bit healthier and getting some more depth in their lineup and their bullpen as well. Certainly great.
Yeah, and some other good news as far as injuries are concerned. Not only Tyler Matzek making a scoreless appearance in this one, his first since way back in the middle part of May. I saw Kenley Jansen working off the mound on the main field prior to the game, and he believes that he's going to be ready after talking to him yesterday. As soon as he can come off the injured list on the 12th of July, as soon as he's eligible, Kenley believes he's going to be able to jump back in there. So good to see him out there getting some work on the big field. We will get you set up for game 3 of the series, which is coming your way on Wednesday. Before we do, though, I want to remind you to make your moment sparkle with jewelry from BlueNile.com. Locked On Sports listeners get $50 off a purchase of $500 or more. This podcast exclusive includes engagement pieces. Use the code Locked On. That is code Locked On. Every order is insured, ships free, arrives in discreet packaging, and won't give away what's inside. You can shop stress-free and find your forever piece. Go to BlueNile.com today. Good news is the Braves have secured themselves no worse than a split of the 4-game series with the Cardinals. The other part of the good news is, despite Max Scherzer absolutely dominating his Mets return, the Mets were walked off by the Cincinnati Reds, something the Braves experienced over the weekend. And now Atlanta finds itself back to 2.5 games behind the Mets as they turn the ball over to Max Fried in Game 3 against the Cardinals. Max is 8-2 at 2.66 ERA. Miles Michaelis is going to be on the mound for the Cards. He's 5-6, but with a 2.61 ERA. He's been throwing great for them all year. It's a 7:20 p.m. first pitch Eastern time at Truist Park. It's a big ESPN game, national television, and I can think of no better Brave to be starting a game on national TV, Jake, than Max Fried, and I'm just looking for more of the same from this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, the Braves already guaranteed themselves a split of a 4-game series against a postseason contending team as well. So that's certainly great. And you got your ace on the mound. And like you said, just do what you've been doing. And hopefully he does. And hopefully the national media, national attention gets to see that on an ESPN game, because he certainly deserves more of it. Again, I think I did my first half awards on the Locked On Braves on Tuesday. Not only is he the Cy Young for the Braves in the first half, I think he needs to be up there in the NL Cy Young discussion overall with what he has done so far. So again, more of it. Give me more of it every time. I love Max Fried going out there. He gives the team a chance to win.
Max Fried, the bona fide ace of the Braves. He'll be gunning for win number 9 of the year. Miles Michaelis on the mound for the Cardinals in Game 3 of this 4-game set. Braves can secure a series win if they can get Fried in the win column on Wednesday at Truist Park with a 7:20 p.m. Eastern time first pitch. Thanks for joining us here on the Braves Postcast, part of the all-new Locked On Sports Atlanta. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Braves wherever you get your podcast. Once again, it was a great night at the ballpark for the Braves, who pick up a 7-1 win over the Cardinals. All kinds of good stuff on this night, and we'll be looking for more of it on Wednesday when we join you. Until then, I'm Grant McAuley. He's Jake Mastroianni, and we will catch you next time right here on the Braves Postcast. So long, everyone.